Sa IPT ni fight kinipirmi ang pang namon sila halin pa sang last split pero sa sininga split nga makutanay kami makaya na nila namon kag masaka gid ang amon nga hampang sila kay isa na lang kami subong kapdanay kag communicate kami mayo.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2018 Bacchus Pro Gaming Series Spring. This is the second day of the first week, and we'll be your shoutcasters once again for the second game. I'm Atlas. With me is Chisto, and we just got back from a convincing victory from Imperium Pro Team against Acclaim Empire X, but AEX did not go down without a fight.
Yan, para sa mga kakapasok lang sa Steam para manood, of course, quick recap nung naunang game. It was a very bloody game. But in the end, it was IPT and the pressure coming from Suzaku Strand that really gave him the edge forward and really gave them the win. And I think that's the same strategy that IPT will be trying to use in this following game. Whereas for AEX, they definitely need to adjust because what they wanted to do in the first game did not pan out at all.
Yeah, because Ivalis got a good gank and just Suzaku went all out trying to attack that weakness that now formed because of the no flash on his lane opponent. But of course, this is going to be the second game of a best of 3. So if IPT wins another game here, they will take away the match. But if AEX can try and contest it for a 1-1, they will have the momentum onto the third game. And after that, possibly third game or this second game, if IPT wins again, we'll be having the second match we have today. We'll have Naga versus BRE.
Yeah, and definitely looking forward to the matchup. We've got a returning versus a rather new face in the Pro Gaming Series, so definitely look forward to that. But I do believe we should focus right now on
the
how
match right now.
AEX can adjust kasi during their first game, so mukhang nahirapan sila even though they were able to pick up a lot of kills. Hindi sila nakakuha ng kahit ng objective. Whereas for IPT, after all of those skirmishes, it was Suzaku's split pushing. Sobrang nahirapan yung AEX sa pag-contain dun sa Trundle kasi he just dealt so much more pressure compared to his counterpart.
Yeah, that's just a wave effect coming from what happened in Ivalis's gank on the top side. But of course, 1-0 IPT against AEX is going to be very difficult for AEX. But of course, they are a powerful team with talented players. And I'm pretty sure that they can have this adjustment against IPT strategy. But of course, this is going to be a test of skill for our players as we get into the pick and ban phase for AEX and IPT.
Speaking of talented players, galing sa Acclaim Empire X, kilala natin si AEX Tamsu, yung all-star jungler nila. And during the first game, he was a bit, he was on a low profile, I should say, where on the Shyvana, all he really did was farm the entire game. For an adjustment for AEX, I want to see them play more around Tamsu and see him play proactively and instead of going for a farm-heavy jungler.
Yeah, because Tamsu,
something that ganks more.
Because Tamsu is one of those junglers who usually has one of the highest kill participations in the entire PGS. We saw that in the previous season, in the season before that as well, rather in the splits before that as well. So just having a high KP Tamsu with a high pressure jungler, I think is one of the keys that AEX can win this. Of course, the dynamic of the team and how they form their comps is way different, but I think that's one of their keys to winning. As for IPT, they still have a very solid roster of players, and they have very deep champion pools, so they can adapt a lot. But of course, it all comes down to execution. They banned out, AEX banned out Tom, Kench, the Sejuani, as well as the Rise, while IPT banned out the Kog'Maw. They don't want that priority on AEX, as well as the Zac and the Vladimir.
Oh, will we see a switch up right now? Because IPT, they're hovering over the Shyvana. It is locked in.
Oh man, switcheroo.
That means it will be IPT's Ivalis on the Shyvana will be a more farm-heavy style, I should say.
So it's going to be more self-sufficient for IPT. They need to pick more self-sufficient lanes if they want to win this, because Ivalis will seldom gank. That is how you play the Shyvana. As for AEX, let's see how they respond to the Varus and Shyvana lock-in.
It's actually very interesting from Imperial Pro Team because during the previous game, we saw AEX on the red side as well. They picked Shyvana, they picked Varus, but they lost. For IPT though, now they've on the red side, nag-pick sila ng Shyvana, nag-pick sila ng Varus. Maybe this is a sign, an early sign that maybe we'll see a tie, but it is too early to call that. Let's see what IPT will decide to round out their comp with.
Oh dear, if AEX locked in the Azir, if IPT locks in the Seraph,
Shurima duel!
The Shurima duel between the Emperor and the ambitious Mage. It is going to be light on that Seraph. Oh dear.
As a champion, I really love Seraph.
Yeah.
He's very, very hard to play, I should say, kasi he has a lot of skill shots.
Yeah, almost all of his spells are skill shots. The W's radius isn't that big as well, so just the sheer amount of skill needed to play the champion. But Azir as well, they are very different sides on the spectrum of how they play, but their skill cap is absolutely high as well.
So sa tingin mo, Atlas, sino mas magaling? Yung skill shots nila ito yung pag-iwas ni Awaken?
Oh man, it's a really hard question to answer. Awaken has shown a lot of mechanical prowess, but I think
50-50?
because he plays a lot of Azir as well, so I think he does know how Azir players would move around.
Yeah, and speaking of moving around, AEX right now, they're hovering over the Vayne, and it is locked in, so that's a very, very mobile AD carry locked in for AEX. You have the protection coming from the Taric. Let's see, they still need a jungler, and like I mentioned, an adjustment. This is what AEX needs, and now proactive na yung jungler nila. They have the Rek'Sai on the Tamsu, and we know Tamsu can play this pick.
Rek'Sai, one of his key picks from the previous split. So we'll be seeing him on that champion once again. IPT, if they lock it as Yori, is going to be quite surprising and exciting. However, I'm not putting my money that they will actually lock this in. Nasus.
Oh, we're going
it's a possibility.
Shurima right now.
Shurima indeed. That is going to be the Nasus here for IPT Suzaku. Just really both top laner and jungler just farming it out for the game. And it seems like IPT did choose relatively self-sufficient laners. The Nasus a little bit hard in the early game, but does have that sustain. As for AEX, this is a lot of proactivity that they actually need to put out to try and get the leads that they want.
I really like the adjustment that IPT has, because now they're the team playing with the Shyvana, and they've picked champions that don't really need that much jungle pressure in order to survive lane. Varus and Serath both, they have a lot of wave clear. Kaya-kaya nilang ubusin lang kagad yung minions and immediately back off, so hindi na sila magagang. And that will just allow Ivalice on the Shyvana to farm up as much as he can, as well as for Suzaku. So IPT, they can stall the game long enough to wait for the Shyvana and the Nasus to scale.
And once that happens, oh dear, it's gonna be quite hard.
They need to do something in order to deal with that.
And as I said, this mid lane, even though Serath is favored against Azir, this is still what I believe. Yeah, don't mess with that. But however, I do think this is still a skill matchup in the end when it comes to these two players, even though, as I said, Serath is favored in this matchup as he can completely outrange the Azir a lot of the time. As for the top side, it's going to be quite a long spaghetti noodle fight up there.
Spaghetti noodles.
Yeah, it's good. Two tanks facing off against each other, even though later in the...
You seem hungry, Atlas. You seem hungry.
Yeah, definitely hungry for esports action here in the PGS. AEX versus IPT. It's going to be a very delicious fight, I believe.
Delicious, you say?
Yeah, very scrumptious, because that previous game was just absolutely, like, great.
So, hindi tayo maubusan ng synonyms para sa masarap. Ganun. Okay.
Yep.
Looking at the team comps right now, they have very clear win conditions, I should say. For IPT, it's letting this Nasus scale and just get to that late game where he can just be another split-pushing beast like the Trundle in the preview. As for AEX, now they have the tools to be proactive. Tamsu is a more gank-oriented jungler. And for Genvi on this Vayne, the mindset, if you're a Vayne player, para kang gumagawa ng montage.
Yeah.
Na kailangan sobrang linis ng lahat ng play mo na hindi ka pwede magkamali. Kasi pag nakakita ka ng Vayne, palagi kang parang lahat sila nanonood sa'yo.
Yeah, so it's a lot of pressure, but we'll see how that all plays out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have loaded onto the Rift here in the second game of this best-of-3 matchup between Imperium Pro Team versus Acclaim Empire X. And of course, as we saw in that matchup video, the mid lane, I think, will be a huge factor in how this game will play. Azir versus Serath, Awaken versus Light. It's going to be quite exciting.
And habang kalmado pa mga bagay sa Summer's Rift, Alice, pag-usapan natin yung promo na meron sa 2018 Pro Gaming Series. Of course, you have to really watch out, and if may nangyaring highlight, pag may nakita kang triple kill, quadra kill, pentakill, or objective steal, merong lalabas na link onto a Google form, and pag nanonood ka, all you have to do is fill up the form. Just type the link, dun sa browser mo, ano pa yan, Mozilla, Google Chrome, just type mo yung link ng Google
Internet Explorer.
Internet Explorer kung ganun ka kaluma, pero i-type mo lang yung link and then just fill it out. It's very, very simple, but you have to watch out for those highlights to happen. So you really need to stick around and watch the game and how it progresses.
Just really need to get into the thrill of the hunt of trying to get those Google Form links. And
super simple.
Yeah, super simple. You get as many mystery gifts as you get, as there were kills, if it's a triple to penta. And if it's an objective steal, such as Dragon or Baron, you will get a Hextech bundle.
Yeah, basta may keyboard ka, sobrang dali lang gawin yan. Keyboard and internet. Meron ka ng possible mystery gifts, but you have to watch for the highlights.
So it's going to be just this matchup. Let's see how our junglers actually start out in this game. Both of them starting around the bottom side of the map. This is actually more relevant for Tamsu, as he's the more proactive gank-heavy jungler in this game.
So maybe we'll see a switch-up right now because Ivalis, like we mentioned, now he's on a jungler that tends to farm more. Mas kailangan niya mag-farm. Kailangan niya yung gold, kailangan niya experience para maging effective dito sa Shyvana. As for Tamsu, now kailangan niya mag-gank pa ulit-ulit para matulungan talaga yung AEX in this early game.
And so far, however, they will have the very similar speed at which they clear. However, Tamsu, because he is on that Rex side, he's not as pressured to go for a full clear of his bot side jungle. He will actually opt to try and go for a little bit of control on that river side, on the top lane, and just go back to clearing. He doesn't really see a chance to, let's say, pressure the rest of his lanes. Mid is being pushed out by Awaken so far, and so is Cannon.
Awaken needs to be very careful though.
Right
All that
now,
needs to happen is one ability from Light. He's even running the Shurima skin.
Yep, just the Guardian of the Sands will absolutely be a good matchup here against Awaken. Awaken is running on that Grave Lord.
Yeah, but how does that work? Because Azir is the Emperor and he controls all of the sand. Serath's just a Guardian.
Yeah, and actually failed Ascension actually. And what happened here to Serath. That's why he's, instead of being like a mythological animal, mythological Egyptian god rather, he turns into a huge clump of magical energy. Of course here, Genvi trying to go for a little bit of a trade-off against Hate. Lots of proactivity coming here from AEX. Big trade-off. Hate loses so much health.
Yeah, and what really sealed that trade there, yung Dazzle galing sa Tarek, if that didn't land, that would have meant that Hate would have been a bit more safer in that trade. But since na-stun siya, it means that AEX's bot lane, they come out on top in that trade.
Yeah, Shadow was not able to defend with Unbreakable too much in that fight. And look at that. As I said, this matchup does favor the Serath. Light is outranging Shadow's, rather Awaken so much. He does have the Eye of Destruction, the Arcana Pulse, all of them so much range. But so far, it really is going to be up to the junglers to change the pace of this game. Especially a lot of pressure onto Tamsu to really switch up how the game is going for his team.
Yeah, looking at how this game has progressed, we haven't seen that level of proactivity from Tamsu. It looks like he's just been happy to match the farm that Ivalis is doing at the moment. We're still waiting for all those flash unburrowed ganks from the Rek'Sai, very, very popular. And with her tunnel as well, you can move around the jungle very, very quickly.
Loss of mobility. It actually seems that Tamsu is ahead in terms of the farming game over Ivalis here. Seems like he really still needs to go around and look for ganks, because Tamsu on that Rek'Sai, even though he is in the lead in terms of farm, eventually Shyvana with just straight up golden items with pressure irrelevant, it is going to be on the side of the Shyvana. So Ivalis really needs to find a way to pressure his team.
And we're going to have a quick look at the runes and keystones. It's actually a Klepto Nasus Atlas, so I believe...
Oh dear.
We've seen this a lot.
Yeah, we've seen this a lot, personally, in normal games and solo queue, but it is actually working so far for Suzaku, because Cannon doesn't actually pull out a lot of kill pressure. He's just free to make money, just trade it off with the siphoning strikes.
And for the viewers out there, what this means, the Kleptomancy, if you aren't familiar with it, running it means that you can accelerate your build, because if you're able to proc it, you get these sacks of gold and these consumables as well. So you get to make more gold and actually save more gold. So it's very, very efficient, but you need to be able to constantly proc it on the champions. And in this lane matchup, parehas silang melee.
Yeah.
So that means na pag lumapit si Cannon, magkukill lang si Suzuki,
gets a free bag of gold. And the fact is, it's also very versatile. If you get the sack of gold, just use it and get a little bit of gold. If you get a consumable, you have a choice of using it if it's advantageous to you, or you can go back once you go back to lane, or rather go back to base. You can just sell it if you don't really need it. So is that. But the trade-off here is you don't have an actual high-impact keystone later in the game. You're basically trading, for example, instead of Grasp of the Undying. Ooh, a little bit of a gank attempt here, but Tamsu, however, Light dances out of it.
That was a clean flash from IPT's mid laner. If he didn't flash that, that would have meant Awaken would have been able to follow the knockup from the Unbaro with his Emperor's Divide, knock back the Xerath. But
oh man, Suzaku trying to fight it out against Ganon. 1v1 actually misses the head, but has to flash away. Tries to go for the shield with a Bellows Breath. However, Suzaku still going for it. The Q gets dodged away with the stopwatch. However, still gets the mutual kill.
That is a great 1v1 in the top lane. Cannon, unfortunately, he missed the Call of the Forge God, and I think that would have meant that he could have possibly went for the win in the 1v1. He did have the Ignite, but unfortunately, the Ornn ultimate can be very tricky. I'm pretty sure marami sa mga nanonood, nangyari na rin sa inyo yan.
He was running the Unsealed Spellbook, so he wanted to go to Ignite to try and get the kill pressure against Suzaku, but there he was not able to actually come to fruition, and there he just switches back to Teleport, and that just allows him to be more impactful once a Teleport play comes into
he's going back to what top lane really is. Just taking Teleport.
So let's see here. So far, my point earlier with the Kleptomancy is that you're basically trading something like Grasp of the Undying for extra gold, for accelerating your build. Ooh, very close there for the blue buff. It still does go to Light. Very useful on that Xerath.
Very, very useful on that Xerath, actually, because you're going to want to constantly spam your abilities, and you need mana to do that.
Yeah, and even though Xerath, his passive gives him so much mana already, him getting that blue buff is just cherry on top.
Yeah, definitely, but looking at how the bot lane is progressing, again, we see everyone getting the broken the broken stuff. They're not broken yet. They get a stopwatch.
As well as the Relic Shield.
And the Relic Shield.
Oh man, Awaken could be fighting it out with Light here, but over the jungle, here comes Iblis. Look, so much damage onto Awaken, and now Thompson tries dodging it out with the stopwatch. However, there's no escape. That was so much damage in a blink of an eye.
I like how Light was just charging his ultimate, and he was waiting for Thompson to get out of the golden form.
He was just
waiting in the wings like, he's charging his...
Just get out of it.
You're dead. You're dead.
But of course, IPT gets an important objective for this one. The Drake, the Infernal Drake, will give them a lot more damage. Just accelerate the strength that their carries have.
Yeah, and
a little bit.
Just like that, after that 2v2 in the mid lane, a great executed counter gank by IPT. Wisely enough, they're able to translate it into objective, and yun talaga yung kailangan gawin ng mga top teams dito sa pro gaming series. You really need to translate the kills into objectives, because that's what's important.
That really is what's going to win you the game.
It's always about kills.
Yeah, it's really, even though the gold you get from kills is really important, the fact that map control and the Drakes, the stat boost you get from the Drakes, possibly even the potential gold you get from destroying a turret with Rift Herald, these are very, very important. Absolutely more important than kills most of the time. But of course, coming here onto the top side, I think Suzaku is really satisfied with how this lane is going. Tamsu hasn't really pressured him out, so he's just free to farm with his Siphoning Strike, give him those stacks on those souls, as well as allow him to have more Kleptomancy. So he should be a lot of gold ahead once we actually look at the gold later. But of course, AEX, they still have a little bit of a chance to take back a lead here. The deficit isn't too much coming from IPT.
You know, actually looking at how the game has progressed, did you see a lot of action in the mid and top lane? Whereas for bot lane, everybody just plays a bit more passively, so patient, parang ayaw nila makipaglaban.
Unless, however, Shadow gets a really good bunch of concussive blows here. The Chain of Corruption actually does not end up hitting Genvi. However, Korosu is still under duress here. Just a little bit of a trade-off in the end. But yeah, so far, because everyone in the bot lane is so survivable, they have Braum, they have Taric. Without jungler intervention, which
there's really nothing that's
going to happen. However, this does give a little bit of chance for the rest of the lanes, the top side and the mid side, try and go for something. However, Dazzle actually does hit onto Shadow, but they're dealing so much damage onto Korosu. The Cosmic Radiance, not enough. Genvi has to run away, but that invincibility will run out eventually. He has burned the barrier, but Hate still dealing a lot of damage, and Shadow takes away the kill.
Actually, sobrang interesting kasi kakasabi lang natin na walang nangyayari sa bot lane.
They heard us. They
Narinig
wanted
yata
to get a
tayo.
good show.
Immediately after, we see an all-in by AEX. Sila yung nag-engage doon, but look at the mid lane!
Oh man, Awaken pushes Ivalice away, but did not escape from the right of the Arcane coming from Light.
Yeah, and
This does give them first tower. That's a lot of gold going to Light.
yeah, he's gonna be very, very happy. It looks like Serath will be ascending over the Emperor of Shreem at the moment, but let's see, will AEX be able to scale? Kasi looking at their lineup, Vayne is here, very strong late game champions, pero ang tanong, aabot ba sila dun?
It's going to be quite a difficult task here. Even with the Cosmic Radiance to try and stall out, give a little bit more of a longer fight for Vayne and the Azir. IPT has so much damage. It's not just sustained damage, which the Cosmic Radiance can possibly be good for, but it's also that constant damage that they have is so much. The Siphoning Strike will eventually deal tons of damage.
And tons of damage. And he's building towards Trinity Force.
Possibly.
Tons of damage.
Yeah, tons of damage indeed.
Bigat.
So, as AEX so far, they still have a lot of chances to get the gold lead back. They are at this point. Actually, that's a lot of gold. That's around 5,000
they
gold
have
behind.
chances.
Yeah, they have big chances, but it seems like they're not taking them proactively just yet.
Because IPT, they're just blocking those chances very, very well. I mean, nakikita ng AEX yung pinto. Kaso yung
It's my
IPT...
bouncer.
Yeah, yung IPT yung bouncer na sa daanan na yun. Parang, bawal kayo dumaan. It's basically like that because AEX, we know na gusto nila na they want to make a move to possibly come back in the game. Pero IPT just denying all of the moves.
So far. And IPT is perfectly happy with the way that the pace of the game is going. It's a little bit slow. When they can get those fights in the bot side or in mid, they are going for it.
Are they perfectly happy?
Yeah,
But nothing's perfect.
that's true. It's not like I can read their minds from
They're happy.
across the screen.
They're definitely
but
happy.
They're definitely happy with the way it's going. Look at that. Suzuku dealing so much damage with just one Siphoning Strike on the tank who has Ninja Tabi. So, and the Glacial Shroud. So imagine that amount of damage if he gets close to any of the squishies of AEX.
He's not getting close to it though.
Not just yet, but of course, there's going to be another fight here in the bot side. But the jungler for AEX trying to go in. Ivalice as well, but the right of the Arcane. So much covering fire for IPT. They're still going for Dragon's Descent onto Korosu and Tamsu. Invincibility just goes onto Genvi. IPT still giving chase. Right of the Arcane finishes off just one more shot. However, it's not enough to actually get a kill, but they are still sieging this bottom side of the map. Awaken could possibly go in for a shuffle. It is very, very risky. The rest of his members are a little bit low. And it seems like they will summon the Rift Herald here. Oh man, Arcanopulse actually takes out Genvi, and this will be a free turret for IPT. Shadow still giving chase. The Shocking Orb still hits, and another kill onto Light. Awaken trying to fight back. His soldiers are trying to defend the Emperor. However, the rest of his members still quite on the dead side. They're now going on to the second tier turret. Arcanopulse still outranging Azir. And Awaken trying to go for a last stand. Actually shuffles in, trying to go for the push. Unfortunately, misses and dies before he can do anything relevant.
Yeah, I think AEX, they kind of overextended there.
Oh man.
Sobrang hirap ng defense nito, try nilang gawin doon. Kaso, Awaken, he hesitated for so long, and at the end, he went in, but it was just too many members.
He was alone too.
The stun as well from Light.
Oh, man.
Very well timed. That was an immediate stun. He wanted to try and go for a shuffle, but
Shocking
Light,
Orb.
yung bouncer.
Yeah. It's like, nope, you can't go in.
Nah, you can't.
Shocking Orb. So definitely,
Is that,
that's
is
a
that what
lot
it sounds like? Sarah, Shocking Orb. That's what it sounds like.
That's
so,
what but of course, that's a big lead for IPT at this point in the game. 10,000 gold at 15 minutes. It's definitely
and
big.
that's what gonna do.
AX trying to go against Suzaku here. He's dealing a lot of damage, life stealing a lot as well. Look at that damage coming from the Siphoning Strike. However, it's not enough, as that ultimate coming from Tamsu is actually enough to dodge out that final Siphoning Strike.
With the jungler showing top lane, IPT making the smart move here, and
Free Drake.
another free Drake going over to them.
And this is just going to compound all of the damage that IPT is dealing from afar and up close.
Yeah, and they do have the damage from afar and up close.
And it has to be absolutely careful. AEX is in such a rough spot right now. The timer that IPT has to take away the win from AEX because of their late game scaling is getting longer. the AEX scaling has been delayed so much because of how IPT's been playing.
Yeah, and I don't think it's actually AEX playing bad. I think it's IPT just playing very, very well. They've been the more proactive team, which is generally you want to be the ones that go for these ganks, more aggressive moves.
You want to be the one pushing the AEX, the other team to the wall.
Yeah, and I really want to credit IPT for that, but I really don't think that AEX has been playing bad. It's just IPT have been the team that was acting first.
Yeah. And the fact is, because AEX, as you said, isn't playing bad, they just don't get the chance to play well here because IPT, as you said, is just blocking every entrance. And for now, AEX, all they can do is make sure that their carries don't die any further and that they can just farm up and try and go for the late game scaling.
They could try, but IPT...
Oh, they don't want that
They
to happen.
don't want that to happen. And now they're pushing the tempo of the game. They're sieging down mid lane. AEX, will they go for an engage? It's very risky though.
So much poke coming in from Light. Cannon
and hit
is taking so much damage from every Arcano pulse right of the Arcane to try and push them away. Awaken has to shifting Sans away from that one as the turret starts falling. The Force God immediately gets blocked by Shadow. IPT trying to get into a fight here as AEX charges in them. Dragons descend onto 4 members. Ivalice with a stopwatch dodges a lot of damage. Cannon still trying to go for so much, but double kill onto Light. He's still trying to go for it. Korosu and Genvi, he's still full health, but in so much danger. Has to flash away from Shadow and Hate. He's still tumbling around, trying to survive, but Hate gets the kill finally. And an ace for IPT as he finishes off Genvi.
The skill shots from Light are on point.
Man.
All of those stuns, they all landed.
That's what it sounds like.
In the team fight. And just like that, so much pushing power from their lineup.
And look at every siphoning strike takes away so much of the inhibitor's health, and they will absolutely take 2 of these.
What does the siphoning strike sound like though?
I don't want to.
Yeah, just like that. Another one.
Man, hi. Man, Light is still going for it. However, seems like they will have to back off. They might need to sacrifice their top laner here, but he's fighting hard, flashing away so much time. Oh my god. Tamsu playing with fire there. So much damage coming from the siphoning strike. However, it gets taken down eventually, giving the rest of IPT just enough time to back off.
Let's look at this team fight. This is a very risky fight to take for AEX because they are super far behind, and the Dragon's Descent was massive. Just locks them up in the chain of corruption as well. And look at Light in this team fight. Just perfect snipes all around. Look at all of his stunts. They just land, except for that one.
Just that one. And as well, the Awakened Empress Divide didn't actually hit anything there, which could have been a very impactful ultimate, but here it just ends up Hate face-tanking everything, shooting him down. Genvi falls, and that's just 2 inhibitors down for AEX. IPT can posture for a lot more resources. The jungle, the bot lane, possibly 1 minute away from Baron.
Yeah, and look at the amount of gold that IPT have received right now. Only 19 minutes into the game, they are at 44k compared to AEX, just around 30k. The tower lead as well. No towers have gone down on the side of IPT, and 2 Infernal Drakes as well. That's just gonna benefit them more because they want to poke down, they want to siege down, and ang natitira na lang sa base ng AEX ay yung bot lane inhibitor ng tower, and I think IPT, tinitignan na nila yun.
So really, all of that just allows IPT, and the fact, and as you pointed out, no turrets have been lost on the IPT side. It really comes down to how they've been playing. They've been blocking every single entrance that AEX wants to get into. Whether it's the door, they try to sneak in through the window, and it's like, no, shocking orb. But now, with the with the
sound niya, parang may nakuryente.
Yeah, as in, it's light. Serath is literally made of electrical magical energy.
Does electricity? Okay, that's not relevant right now because
Baron
Imperial Pro Team
taken.
They're taking Baron with 2 members.
Oh man,
well, AEX,
they have a chance here to 3v5. However, they're taking a lot of damage here from Light. Look at that. Genvi already down so much health. Tumbles away from the right of the Arcane Blast. Oh man, tries to go for a steal. However, Tamsu cannot actually finish it off and dies. This could give IPT so much leeway in this bot side with a Baron buff. So much pushing. They could actually finish off the game here. As, look at this, Suzaku with a siphoning strikes, takes down Awaken and 1 shot. He's not done yet. Cannon's a little bit more resilient than his mid laner. However, This is just going to be another game in IPT's hands, finishing off this best of 3 2-0 against Acclaim Empire X.
Yeah, we get to see another clean 2-0 this time from Imperium Pro Team. They come out on top in their first match in the 2018 Bacchus Pro Gaming Series, and man, they just look very, very dominant all throughout. AEX not being allowed to act upon anything they wanted to set up. That was just IPT playing very, very clean and playing very proactive and aggressive as well.
Definitely. That was just very clean come from IPT, as we expect from one of the strongest star teams that most people would say in the PGS. But AEX, their adjustments did not work out just yet. They're still getting the feel of the new season, of the new roster as well. So props to both of these teams. They had a very good fight. But of course, we've been your shoutcasters for that second game. I am Atlas. With me was Chisto. We'll be getting into the highlights of that match before we get into an interview. Some of his members are a little bit low, and it seems like they will summon the Revved Herald here. Oh man, Arcana Pulse actually takes out Genvi, and this will be a free turret for IPT. Shadow still giving chase. The Shocking Orb still hits, and another kill onto Light. Awaken trying to fight back. His shot immediately gets blocked by Shadow. IPT trying to get into a fight here as AEX charges in them. Dragons is in onto 4 members. Ivalis with a stopwatch dodges a lot of damage. Cannon still trying to go for so much, but double kill onto Light. He's still trying to go for it. Karasu and Genvi, he's still full health, but in so much danger. Has to flash away from Shadow and Hate. He's still tumbling around, trying to survive, but Hate gets the kill finally, and an ace for IPT as he finishes off Gen. This is just going to be another game in IPT's hands, finishing off this best of 3 2-0 against Acclaim Empire X.
Yeah, we get to see another clean 2-0 this time from Imperium Pro Team. They come out on top. Okay, so magandang hapon mga Summers. Kasama ko ngayon ang mid laner ng Imperium Pro Team, si Light. And
Hi.
Una sa lahat, congratulations sa panalo
Thank you.
clean na 2-0 and very action-packed games. And I really like the way you snipe people on Sarath during that second game. Very, very clean. And what are your thoughts on the series?
Well, props pa din sa AEX for the good game. Masasabi ko lang siguro, bunga lang yun ng practice namin siguro sa KR kasi medyo nagdoble talaga kami ng practice ngayong split.
And na-mention mo, nagpo-practice kayo sa Korean server. Anong masasabi mo sa mga nanonood na difference nun compared sa pag naglalaro ka on the Philippine server?
Unang-una mabigat syempre kasi yung ping mabigat. Kaya, well, parang may weights doon. And syempre yung play doon medyo mas mataas. More on macro sila. Tsaka doon din nakikita yung mga counter picks.
Yan, alam natin lahat ng fans, matagal ng IPT sa Pro Gaming Series. Meron ka bang message sa fans nyo and what to expect coming from your team?
Sa lahat ng sumusuporta sa IPT, maraming salamat and sana continue to support us. And ayun, salamat din sa IPT organization, kila Tito Tita, and sa mga sumusuporta sa amin.
Yan, narinig nyo na lahat kayo. Of course, congratulations ulit sa panalo nyo. Clean na 2-0 and now, we're gonna head into the next match after a bit of a break. We're gonna have Naga Esports returning to the Pro Gaming Series versus facing off against Barcy X-Rage Esports, the new blood, so stick around for that.